Greetings, fellow woodworkers and makers of great things. Welcome to my shop. So I'm on vacation this week, a little leisure time. So of course I'm out in the shop working on a project, just building some silly shelves for the garage. Help me a little bit with storage. And so the Amazon driver pulls up and he had delivery, and it turned out to be a set of tools I ordered a little while ago. And I was just so damn impressed with them that I thought I'm going to stop what I'm doing and do a short video, not one of my usual marathons. And what it is this Capri super thin wrench set. It's a set of dedicated thin open-end wrenches that help you get into tight places, and in my case help with turning on a lathe. I'll get into that in a little bit. But I was just so impressed with them that I had to pause, had to pull over, and had to show you guys what these things are like, because I'm sure you've all taken a wrench to the grinder once or twice in your life. So it's available on Amazon. It's $128 for the set. Pretty good bargain. I was when I ordered it, but it got good reviews. Now that I got it, it's a great deal. It's just a great deal. This is quality stuff. Okay. That comes out, by the way, to $9 per wrench. Pretty reasonable for a quality wrench. But when you consider that they're double-ended, because it's not a combination wrench, it's only an open-end wrench, so you get two sizes per wrench, it comes down to $4.50 per size, and you wind up with 28 sizes of metric and SAE wrenches that will pretty much cover everything you want from them. So let's get you over to the bench. I'll get you in closer. We'll take a look at this set of wrenches. We'll get the dial caliper out. We'll take a few measurements. We'll see what they mean by thin, and we'll see what the quality of these things look like. So let's get over to the bench. Let's take a look at this set of wrenches. I'm very impressed out of the box. There are a total of 14 wrenches, but they are two sizes per wrench. These are not combination wrenches. They're open end on both sides, all right, because they're specifically made to get into thin spots, right? So you get 14 wrenches, but you wind up with 28 sizes, and those sizes in the metric range from 6 to, can't see it up there, 22, and in the standard from 1/4 up to 3/4 of an inch. So quite the assortment of wrenches. Very nicely put together in a really nice tray that'll fit right in my toolbox. Keep everything organized. You guys know how I am about organizing stuff. The other thin wrench sets that I looked at, or that I've owned some of in the past, not a set, but I've had one or two here or there. They were little more than ignition wrenches, I think they used to call them back in the day. And they were little more than just a shape stamped out of a piece of steel. They were very crude. Usually got the job done because by the nature of the fact that you're using that wrench, you probably don't need a ton of torque. But they were okay, but they weren't very good. These, on the other hand, are, I think, quality, feel, and finish of some better wrenches. I've got an old Craftsman USA Craftsman Professional. These are great wrenches. I don't know when they were last made. Certainly haven't been made in USA in 20 years or so. I don't know how long I've had them, but just a beautiful wrench with a great feel and a good finish. So I brought that out, and then I got a more traditional gear wrench here. I'm not a Snap-on or Mac guy. I'm not a professional. I'm not going to spend that kind of money, but I don't like cheap tools either. So I find, I'm in the gear wrench zone. Really good quality, nice tool, but at an affordable price for somebody who's just trying to keep their equipment running and doing this more or less as a hobby. So I brought them out. We got a 14 there. I think the feel of this wrench is up to par with these other guys. It's a really nice chrome wrench with a good finish. The edges are not, rough. Again, a lot of these thin wrench sets are just stamped out, and you got real sharp edge. This feels really good in the hand. It's thin, so if you were going to put some serious torque on it, you're going to feel it in your hand. Don't get me wrong. It's a thin wrench, but just a very nice and well-made tool. Again, up to par, up to standard with some of my more favorite wrenches. But okay, let's go to the real reason you would want a set of thin wrenches. Let's take a look at these 14-inch wrenches, and if I look at the Craftsman Professional, I'm going to get you guys in here as best I can. We are almost 5/16. That's going to come out to right around 9/32 for the Craftsman. If we look at the gear wrench, we are more than 5/16. That is 21/64 on the gear wrench. And if we take it down to the 14mm Capri thin wrench, we are way down at just over 1/8 of an inch. We'll call that 9/64 on the Capri. That is what, half the thickness of the Craftsman and less than half the thickness of the gear wrench. Just some other common sizes we might want to look at here. Let's take the smaller one, the 1/4 inch. Wow. We are just over 1/8 of an inch. We'll call that another 64th. So just over 1/16 of an inch. So we'll call that 9/64. No, we'll call that 5/64. Frank, get your math together. It's 5/64 on the small one. Let's look at a common size, a 1/2 inch. If anybody's ever tried to remove a fuel shutoff solenoid from the bottom of a small engine carburetor, you know you need a 1/2 inch thin wrench. Oops, grabbed the wrong one. That's 3/8. Where is my 1/2 inch? It's up here. So 1/2 inch is coming in at a whopping, boy, that's just over 1/8 of an inch. We'll call it 1/8 of an inch because it's not even a 64th larger on my little dial indicator here. And then if we go up to something very common, right, 10mm. 10mm is going to come in here, right smack between a 1/16 and an 1/8. All right, so we'll call that 3/32 on the 10mm. Very thin. These things are really, really, really sweet. So that's just an indicator of, the sizes that you have here to give you a little more detail. Look, we have anybody who's done any of this has taken a tool to the grinder. I don't care if it's a screwdriver or a wrench, something that you needed because you had a special application where you had to get a tool in there, and hopefully you had an old tool to grind down, and you did that. And then you don't need that for 2 years, and then you go to look for it next time you need it, and you can't find it because it's God knows where it is by now. So having a set of thin wrenches is always a luxury I thought I'd like to have in the shop, and finally found this and thought this was a really nice set, good deal, got good reviews, and when it showed up today, it certainly lived up to expectation. And there's one more benefit to these. I'm a woodworker, so I turn wood on the lathe, and the best way to turn a dowel to a specific diameter is to use a wrench, right, as your divider. You can set a divider and try to turn down to that dimension before. If you need a 1/4 inch dowel, and you got a 1/4 inch. I'm sorry, this isn't quarter. But if you need a 3/8 inch dowel, and you've got a 3/8 inch wrench, you can just turn that dowel down using the wrench as a spacer until the wrench passes over the dowel. Now you hit exactly 3/8. The problem is, when your wrench is that fat, you need to use a wide parting tool and create a wide space. Sometimes you don't want that wide space on that piece of the dowel. So with these thin wrenches, it's going to be really nice to use as a turning gauge to get specific diameter turnings. And if you don't know what I mean, I've got a video you can look for on turning and drilling on the lathe, and you'll see the specific application of that, as well as the goof I made because my wrench was too fat. So go take a look at that video. I'll try to attach it somewhere here if I can figure out how to do that. I'm not real good at that sort of stuff. So there you have it, the Capri thin wrench set. I love it. I can't wait to get it in my toolbox. I can't wait to use it. Just a really, really, really nice piece of kit here. well organized, well put together. Just a nice, pleasant surprise. If you like it, I will again try to put a link to this on the Amazon website. But don't count on it. I ain't too good at that. Just go to Amazon, search Capri thin wrench. You'll find them. You'll find them. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. If you like this, please throw a thumbs up. Think about subscribing. I'd sure appreciate that. Happy New Year, everybody.